The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and $1,400 third stimulus checks will be here this week for veterans. Also, monthly, reoccurring fourth stimulus checks. Yes, could be here starting this summer and going all the way to the end of this year. Also here this week, $10,000 EIDL grants. The remainder of $10,000 EIDL grant is being paid. Then also here later this week, only heard on this channel exclusively, a $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness is about to be announced by the President of the United States. It's a lot of details happening across the board. In this recording, I have all that details and more. What we see going on is a fourth stimulus that will be paid to a lot of viewers across the board. And we see this as mixed economic data comes in, some good, some bad. We have new videos from the White House, and that new videos is the push underway for fourth stimulus. There's a push from both fourth stimulus for infrastructure or climate, but also there's a push underway for multiple stimulus checks. Meantime, you'll see new video from the teams in the Senate Democrats to get student loan forgiveness a finality, and that finality I'm reporting will happen later this week. Also finality, an incredible payout for $10,000 of EIDL grants and my veterans who haven't gotten their third stimulus checks. As we go into a big new day, there's a lot of big things happening from my home to your home, from Wall Street to Main Street, across the board. The excitement's brewing, and we have a major broadcast, and let's get to it as an early morning's broadcast kicks up its feet and gets underway, starting right now, direct from Los Angeles. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and it's a big early morning's broadcast, and there's a lot of details hitting this morning. Boy, what a day it's going to be and what a week it's going to be. First, fourth stimulus, multiple stimulus checks every month until the end of this year. I'll be going over the details happening, the House path, the Senate path, the amounts, the issues, the good news and the bad news. Then I'll be cutting back to third stimulus. More checks are going out this Wednesday. And then the big shocking exclusives. In addition to that veterans check, that exclusive, I have two other exclusives. First, EIDL grants are being paid this week of $10,000, and student loan debt forgiveness is about to be announced by executive order, I'm predicting, later this week. Wow, away we go. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, hit that like button, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. What a week it is going to be. Let's first turn to that fourth stimulus check and all the exciting details upon board. We understand that the path to get that fourth stimulus check is by recon at a vote-a-rama with 21 to 50 Democrats currently on board. We also understand the speed issue. Every month that passes, you miss a stimulus check. We are worried about economic rebounding this economy too soon before stimulus goes out, and we understand that jobs are being restored. As one analyst said over this weekend, this economy isn't coming back. It is back. He also said, I'll tell you this is the best optimistic job market I've ever seen. He says the market's on fire, and he says Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan's Chase, is right. This economy is going to be on steroids for the rest of this year. With that, let's take a look at how this would happen. Well, there's two paths. The Senate's Tours, who are Democrats, want to give you monthly stimulus checks, and the House Democrats want to give you monthly stimulus checks. Let's compare the two proposals. The House would do it from pandemic plus 1 year. They want to continue 1 year after the pandemic. Every month, a stimulus check. The senators want to do them till December. Then let's look at who's at issue here. The House members are more progressive Democrats, but there's a lot more of them, over 100. The senators are 21 of 50, but these are the movers and shakers. These are the ones that are changing policy. And these are the ones that are actually featured later in this recording about the student loan debt forgiveness. These are people in control that can absolutely move the compass. Let's look at the amounts. The House want to pay $2,000 a month and $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The senators don't have a number, but word on the street is the senators want to pay $1,400 a month, which would equal $8,400 over 6 months, or $2,000. Now let's look at this number. Let's look at this graphic. This graphic is based upon the following. One, they want the bill to pay you a check every month until December. They don't say the start date, but their proposal is to do it as soon as it becomes law. When could it become law? We'll be analyzing that later in this recording, but it's a 2-month process, the reconciliation process, and Congress goes on recess in July. So you want this bill finalized in June or July, so the stimulus checks go out in July. That would give you 6 months. Well, word on the street says those senators want to give you $2,000 a month, which would be $12,000 a person. $1,400 a month would be $8,400 a person. This would be the single biggest payout of anything anyone has ever seen for viewers of this channel. Who again would get this? Anyone who got the third stimulus check. So if you make less than $75,000, if you're a household of 4 or less, if you're on SSI or SSDI, this would be you. What's important to understand is that the number is based upon 2 competing factors: bad economic news and good economic news. At every point, there's bad data and good data, and you don't want this bill to land in the Senate when all we have is good data. Well, the bad data started last Thursday. New unemployment claims, bad. Continuing unemployment claims, bad. Small business closures, bad. Let's look at that number. The numbers last week came in and shocked millions of Americans. First, the number of unemployment claims were the worst in 2 weeks. California saw 40,000 new unemployment claims. New York surged to 15,000. We also saw how bad it was across the board. The long-term unemployment claims stayed at 3 million, not particularly good anywhere. We also saw that the numbers were bad for small business closures. Of businesses that survived till February, 22% have now closed. Here's the continuing unemployment claim last Thursday. It showed 3.73 million people still unemployed in the economy. Not a good number. More reason for stimulus. Here are the new unemployment claims, which showed we grew. It showed we got worse despite estimates. Not a good number. It shows that Wall Street doesn't know what's going on and that the situation's getting worse. More reason for stimulus. And then also this reason for stimulus. Small businesses and medium-sized businesses closed at record numbers. 22% closed in the month of February. In the month of May, a year earlier, that was our next worst level. That's the bad news. But for every bad news, there's good data. And this is what you should be worried about, because good data works against stimulus. No one wants to give stimulus if there's only good data. Currently, we're not only at good data. We have a mixture of good and bad. But what would be the situation in the summer? We don't know. The jobs numbers, bad. Good data. Too many jobs being restored too quickly. There's 8 million missing, and we're restoring 1 million a month. If we restore 2 million a month, we could be back to normal in four months. The PPI number released on Friday, the best number in over 10 years. Not particularly good. And here it was. It was the best number in 9.5 years. We grew at 1% in the month of March for the Producer Price Index. And this week, we're going to see the CPI. Then thrown into the mix is this strange data. This came out on Saturday. Johnson & Johnson won't be able to deliver doses this week. The issue at hand is the Baltimore facility. The president won't be able to deliver anywhere near the number of doses he would have wanted. Johnson & Johnson is only delivering 700,000 doses this week compared to 4.9 the week before. This is how bad the situation will be. The number of doses available in New York is going to drop by 89% this week, California by 89%, and Florida by 89%. The Dow futures is up and the Nasdaq futures are up going into the new day. So there you go. How does this formulate, and how do we see this happening? This is what you need to know. Forced stimulus is a reality when the president puts the bill by recon. When he's going to put the bill by recon? Sometime in the next 7 days. This week is going to take one last, what he calls good faith effort to get Republicans on board. They're not. His bill has 3 sections. The first, infrastructure. The second, climate. The third, taxes. Republicans said, we're not doing climate. Okay, we're not doing climate. They say it's a non-starter. The president says, I can't do the bill without climate. I have to have climate. They say no. So away we go to recon. The reconciliation process is a process with 2 steps to it. It takes 2 months. And ultimately, as soon as the bill lands in the Senate, that's when those senators can put the stimulus checks in there. But those House members can put it in there before then. And away we go. Over the weekend, the president released some new videos. I'll be showing that later to you in this recording. But also happening later this week, boy, $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. I'll cover that in a second. But first, what I want to also tell my viewers is if you're a veteran and did not get that third stimulus check, congratulations, it's coming this Wednesday. My veterans who are unpaid for stimulus checks, it's coming by direct deposit this Wednesday. If the IRS tool does not update itself for you, don't worry. Watch that direct deposit on Wednesday, including Direct Express by Comerica. All right, let's tune now to that $50,000 of student loan debt. About 4 weeks ago, Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer really ramped it up. And they ramped it up by telling the president he has executive authority to forgive student loan debt. Let's listen to this video in which she says Obama and Trump forgave student loan debt by executive order. Hence, the president can. Let's listen to see what she had to say.
There are lots of people who aren't moving out from their parents' homes. Lots of people who aren't buying their own homes. And one of the other things the data shows, lots of people who are not starting their own businesses. And all of those things hold back our economy. And I make that point because I'm sure there are lots of folks who are on this call tonight who don't have student loan debt. But here's the deal. Even if you don't have student loan debt, you will be helped by seeing student loan debt canceled, because it will help our economy. This is one of those things that doesn't have to go through Congress. The authority is already there in law for the president and his team, the administration, the Secretary of Education, to cancel out this student loan debt.
Let's hear how she explains this.
And President Obama used it to cancel some student loan debt. President Trump used it to cancel some student loan debt. I want to see President Biden use it. If he would cancel $50,000 in student loan debt, it would make an enormous difference in the lives of tens of millions of Americans and help build our entire nation a stronger future.
And that was a video released by Elizabeth Warren a couple weeks ago. At that time, the president was not willing to do student loan debt. He didn't even want to hear about the subject. He said, I don't even want to touch it. Guess what happened? 2-step approach. First, the White House says, I'm not going to do it by executive order. Second, even if I was going to do it by executive order, students would have to pay taxes on the forgiven debt. They don't want to do that. It would cost them $10,000, $20,000. I'm not going to do it. Well, guess what? Those 21 of 50 Democrats who also want to give you that multiple stimulus checks had an idea. When the third stimulus package landed by Vote-A-Rama, they quietly slid in provision that if the president at a later date forgives student loan debt by executive order, it's not taxable. They don't have to pay taxes on it. They plotted it, they put it in there, and they got it done. Well, guess what happened after that? The president still said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Give it to me by bill. So finally, they pushed and they pushed. And they released yet another video. And in that other video, they said, you know what? The president needs to do this by executive order. And ultimately, the president absolutely gave in. And 2 weeks ago, he said, okay, finally, I will have my education secretary prepare a deal memo, and that memo will determine the legal validity of me as a president to forgive student loan debt by executive order. And that memo is due this Friday. Well, my prediction is that you're going to hear an executive order for giving $50,000 of student loan debt by the end of the week. How does this work? It would mean that if you have a privately held or publicly held student loan debt, it would be forgiven so far. Now, they may modify the bill. We understand or modify the idea. But that is the current proposal. Forgive all student loan debt, $50,000, any debt, whether you're a student now or former student, old debt, new debt, rich person, poor person, whoever has a student loan debt, it can be forgiven up to $50,000, automatic. You don't have to do anything. And it would allow the ability of a person who is not able to buy a home or buy a car or start a business because of that debt, now buy it. Elizabeth Warren on Saturday pushed back yet again in another video released by her and Chuck Schumer on the subject, pushing to say, let's forgive the student loan debt. Let's understand how this changes people's lives when you forgive the student loan debt.
Appreciate you raising this, because I think what you're showing, Taneva, and I think you made this point too, Derek, it's the generational effect, that if you had your college diploma but no debt, then you'd be in a better position for your daughter, and to be able to strengthen her and lift her up as she goes forward, both as a child and as she gets ready for school. I think that, Kendrick, you talked about your daughter losing her car because you were struggling with your own student loan debt after you'd gotten cheated by a for-profit college. But I think the generational effects of this, it means it hits you, but it hits the next group and the next group.
This is Elizabeth Warren's feed drop in the
a
connection.
powerful point, and I appreciate your raising this, Taneva. I think that's really important.
And when I'm listening to you, all four of you, I'm inspired, but I'm also frustrated at how there are people who make a living preying off, selling you hopes and dreams and catching you, especially first gen folks. And what I heard from you, Sabrina, is you want to move on, you want to buy a car, you want to keep going, you want to help others, and this is holding you down.
And it does hold people down. And it was one subject matter discussed by viewers and myself on Saturday, that the forgiveness of student loan debt would free up the ability of people who view this channel to buy homes, buy cars, start businesses. Coming up, more about this and the reoccurring stimulus checks on the fourth stimulus package and that $10,000 EIDL loan. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. Be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LALATE. How are you? The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I have audio. Yesterday was another one of those days when I started recording, had no audio, and just everyone's like, I can't hear you. I gave away a free Porsche. No one got it because no one knew who won. I told everyone where the keys were, but they couldn't hear it because I didn't have video also. Maybe I'll do that again today. I'll give away, a Lamborghini, but I won't tell you because you won't be able to hear me, and you won't be able to see me that I'm doing it. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's like $12 ice cream just without the ice cream, but costing you $12. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It gives you shows, but with no audio, no video. Except this show. This one had audio, video. And also like this video. And if you're not becoming a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Boy, what a day it is. And before the commercial break, you saw that $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. Drop any questions or comments you'd have in the live chat in the chat right now, and I'll review them later when I go on air. What's important for you to understand is that this is $50,000. This is $50,000. The answer is generally yes. People yours ask, well, do I? Yeah, you would qualify. There would be almost nothing that would not allow you to qualify. Meantime, also breaking news today, actually exclusive, that you're only going to hear on this channel, is the $10,000 EIDL grant is being paid, and not the way you're hearing it elsewhere. The remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant from 2020 applicants is being paid, and it's not being paid in chronological order. No. Applicants who applied for the EIDL grant in July are getting offers before March applicants who are in the exact same zip code. There's no organization to it whatsoever. So if you're sitting back and saying, you know what, I heard they're doing February and March applicants first, and then April, and then May, I'll be last. No, you may actually be first. There's no organization. They are still doing them by low-income based communities first, and then they're going to cover everyone else. But how they're doing makes no sense. Also, that went live on Friday. The shuttered venue grant at EIDL, the shuttered venue grant at sba.gov is now live again. It crashed on Friday. It's expected to go live today. It does not only for venues, so consider it. The PPP grant is now live again. It was extended by executive order on Friday. There is no grant to start a new business, but there are those grants, PPP, EIDL, for 2020, and shuttered venue grant, which is new, that are all going live. Wow, what a lot of details. Meantime, forced stimulus is really heating up. And what I want to go back to is that graphic, of course, about how much money you can get. Look at this money. This is the biggest payday you would ever see in this channel for a single individual. It's more than the $10,000 EIDL grant. It pales in comparison to it surpasses everything else. It's bigger than FPUC Retro, bigger than SSI of $2,400, bigger than $10,000 of hazard pay. It would run from the point at which it became law to the end of the year. End of the year, as soon as you get this done, more checks you get. Or on the street, $2,000 a month or $1,400 a month. Look at that, $12,000 a person or $8,400 a person. It's absolutely incredible. You want this done sooner rather than later. Sooner works for you. Later works against you because the economy is rebounding. You don't want the economy to be rebounding before they get the bill to a vote. And finally, you don't want those jobs restored before they put it to vote. All these things could work against you. As we heard over the weekend, this economy isn't coming back. It's back. I'll tell you this is the most optimistic job market I've ever seen, said another analyst. You don't want to risk this. You want this to happen. And this is going to be an economy on steroids for the rest of this year. Meantime, the president is continuing to push out the narrative about getting forced stimulus done. And over the weekend, he released a new video on Saturday talking about what should be done. Let's listen to a little bit of that video.
We also need great broadband infrastructure and a grid for the 21st century. I'm Pete Buttigieg, I'm Secretary of Transportation.
My name is Jennifer Granholm, and I am the Secretary of the Department of Energy.
My name is Marty Walsh, and I'm the Secretary of Labor.
Hi, I'm Gina Raimondo, and I'm the Secretary of Commerce.
My name is Marcia Fudge. I am the 18th Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. My favorite part about the American Jobs Plan is the fact that we see people where they are and we are going to make a difference in their lives, whether it be housing, whether it be education, creating jobs, building 2 million new homes. It is all of it. I'm happy about all of it.
I have two favorite parts. Can I have two favorite parts? I love that President Biden is prioritizing creating more decent paying manufacturing jobs for Americans. The second thing I love about the plan is the emphasis on the care economy. There are so many women of color in particular, working hard every day for low pay, taking care of our loved ones. And they deserve raises, they deserve dignity, and this plan invests in them.
The American Jobs Plan is an incredible plan. There's several great parts of it. The $400 billion investment in the cares economy, the investments all across the board in the American worker, doubling apprentice programs. I think that's something that's going to be really important as well for building back better, but also strengthening our economy and growing the middle class.
All across the country, we're going to have better roads, better bridges, and better jobs. We don't just need roads, bridges, ports, airports. We also need great broadband infrastructure and a grid for the 21st century. I can't wait to see these resources go out to communities where people know that we need to be doing better on our infrastructure.
The thing I am most excited about for the American Jobs Plan is that it's going to create millions of clean energy jobs for Americans using products that are made in America. That's what I'm excited about.
And these are the people that you need to push, Purple Power, tag them, call up their offices and say, you know what? I like your messaging. We need to do this by reconciliation. The Republicans don't want to do climate. We need to get those reconciliation movements underway because the senators and the congressmen go on vacation in July. We can't wait any longer. Let's get this bill by reconciliation. Let's start and let's go. Stop waiting. Ultimately, we agree with you. Let's get it going. Let's get it by recon. And away we go. The President of the United States on Saturday also released this video, which details he's going to give one last push to talk to the Republicans. It's not going to happen because Republicans aren't going to give him climate. He mentions climate during this video, but the Republicans say it's a non-starter.
And also, there makes major investments in the fight against climate change. And there's issues that are personal to millions of Americans in the area of VAWA, because I get that asked and we get spoken to by everyone from mayors and governors, local officials of both parties. So I look forward to working with Congress to advance these and other priorities. I think we're going to be able to get, I'm hoping we'll have some bipartisan support across the board. I've already spoken to some of my Republican colleagues about dealing with the infrastructure legislation we have up there, as well as other budget items. So we're going to work on seeing if we get some bipartisan support across the board here, but that's what we're about to do now. We're going to talk about our economic priorities and we get the brief from the team here. Thank you all for coming.
And that was the president's briefing that started with this long shot, so you see who is in the actual room. It was Janet Yellen, his vice president, and his leading economic council advisor. Not a lot of people in the room. But here we go. As we go into a new day, the fourth stimulus package, its only path is by reconciliation. And that path needs to get going as soon as possible. Speed is of the issue. You don't want to delay because the economy may be rebounding. Ultimately, recon is the only path. Vote-a-rama is where the senators would put the bill provisions in there for multiple stimulus checks if the House members don't put it in there before. 21 of 50 senators want to do it. Hundreds in the House want to do it as well. And that's just a start. You need to get it out the door because ultimately it's for you. This is where the push needs to happen. Over the next 7 days, the push is underway. And that is where the push needs to focus. Contact your Democratic senators, contact your Democratic House members, and make it very clear, let's get it going. Purple Power, this is the time and place to make the push because ultimately it's important to understand now is the time. You don't want this bill to land in the Senate, the House, or the Congress into September. That's awful because Congress goes on recess from July to September. You want it to happen as soon as possible in the next 7 days to start because it takes a 2-month process. And then ultimately, away we go. We're set up good if we get it going now. 8 million jobs are missing in this economy. Unemployment claims are still at 3 million people long-term unemployed. So you have the economic data supporting stimulus now. That's why recon has perfect timing right now. You may not have that perfect timing in a few months. You want to get that push underway. To recap, third stimulus, veterans, watch that direct deposit on Wednesday. SBA EIDL applicants from 2020, watch that spam folder. That $10,000 EIDL grant advance could be coming this week as well. Finally, my remaining viewers for fourth stimulus, away we go. Let's get pushing and let's get pushing. And finally, my former college students or current college students, if you have that $50,000 of student loan debt, this could be your big week. A lot of money in this recording. $50,000 of student loan debt, $10,000 of EIDL, $12,000 of forced stimulus, $1,400 of third stimulus. It's a good morning. Thank you for joining me. If you did not watch Overnight's LA, those videos are still on the channel. And catch me on Mornings LA at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and I'll see you on Mornings LA later this morning.